What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. And for today's Appsheet episode, we are actually going to discover on how to do a stocks keeping app. Basically, this is coming from Zakir Khayali. Basically, the question or the request is asking on making a tutorial on shop inventory management with daily monthly sales and purchase report. Of course, the ask is to include the profit and loss, and of course the three main categories, which is the stationery and office supply, toys and sports. He said he had tried lots of videos to make on AppSheet but haven't succeeded. Well, Zakir, I hope this would finally be your solution or answer that you seek. Uh, but again, this would be, I guess, separated in parts. I prefer not to make videos that is too long. So let's assume this is part one to this tutorial, crucial one, in fact. And of course, there'll be a few more episodes that will cover overall for the shop inventory management that Zarke is looking for. And I assume this will also help the rest of you. So thank you guys for your comments, such as Zakir, that will actually benefit the other audiences as well. So, cutting the chase, without further ado, let's check it out. Okay, guys, so to start off the stationery shop tutorial, let's just say I have a few tables here, and you may follow through similar. The first table is products, where we have the product ID, product name, the category, the purchase price, the selling price, and optionally you can add the product image for better visualization. The next table we have is the sales table. So we have the sale ID, customer name, and date. The reason why we have sales table, this will be acting as the parent table for the next table, which is the sales item. So we have the sale item ID, the sale ID, product image, the product ID, the product name, quantity, item total, and profit if necessary. So sales item will be the subset of the sales table. I will explain this later in our tutorial. And last but not least, we have the purchases table. So we have the purchase ID, product ID, date, quantity, total purchase price. Okay, so the purchases will act as the incoming of your stocks. So as a business owner, you will have to replenish your stocks from time to time. So this will be recorded in the purchases table. So the total purchase price will come from the products table where you have the purchase price set. Then of course the quantity will multiply with the purchase price. Hence you have the total purchase price of that particular product. So once you have all these four created, then you can head on to create the app itself in appsheet.com, which already have certain things set up, and I will run through one by one. So the first table, which is the products table, we have the product ID set as the key, the product name, which is set as the label, the category, so I've set it as enum, and I have three categories, which is the stationery and office supply, toys and sports. Okay, then we have the purchase price, the selling price, the product image. I've set it as image data type. And one of the crucial elements we have here, which is stock. Now, of course, as a business owner running a stationery shop, you would want to know the number of stocks that you have with regards to the particular or specific product. And the formula that I'm using is as follows. So I have the sum where we will select the purchases and the quantity of the product, which is referred to the same product ID from the products table, minus with the sum of the sales that we make with regards to the same product. So again, purchases is the incoming where the stocks will add up, and the sales will deduct the number of quantity of that particular product. So of course, when we have both deducted between purchases and sales item, you will have the amount of stocks left for that particular product. Okay. And of course, the two of the other virtual columns, of course, I forgot to mention, stock is actually a virtual column. So you can add the virtual column and use the formula that I mentioned earlier. So that summarizes the products table settings. Now let's head on to purchases. So in purchases, we have the purchase ID, which is the text. Okay. I want to set this as key, sorry. Then the product ID itself will be the reference. Okay. And we are referring it back to the products table as shown on screen. Then we have the date, which is the date time. The quantity is the number. And the total purchase price, which is the multiplication of quantity with the purchase price. So the formula that I'm using for total purchase price is quantity multiplied with any, select the products from the purchase price from the products table, where the product ID selected in the purchases is equivalent to the product ID in the products table. So once we have that set up, that concludes the purchases table settings. The next table, which is the sales table, where we have the sales ID, which is the key of the table, the customer name, and the date time. Next would be the total amount. Of course, then the related sales item will be automatically generated once you have set the sales item as reference, which I'll explain later. But next will be the total amount, where we want to calculate the overall bucket or overall sales amount for that particular customer, where I'm using this formula, which is sum select, and select from the item total from the sales item table. And of course, the sale ID is equivalent to this particular sale ID. So how to get this? Of course, this will exist in the sales item table later. Okay. And similar to that, which is profit, where we will select the profit from the sales item table, where the sale ID is equivalent to this particular sale ID. Now, how to get that? Of course, that shows that we have concluded the sales table settings. In sales item, we have the sale item ID. Okay, so this particular sales ID. Then we have the sale ID reference, where I've set this as reference. And the reference is referring back to the sales table, which is our overall customer sale ID. Then we have the product image. This is optional, so I've set this as the thumbnail. If you want to use this, this is the formula where you will look for the same product ID in the sales item table, and you will look up in the products table. When there is a match between the product ID, it will then extract the product image. Okay. Then of course, product ID again is the reference back to the products table. Okay. Quantity is the number of items bought for the same product. And the item total is using price, and the formula is quantity multiply with any. Select the selling price from the products table, where this product ID is similar to the product ID in the products table. Okay. Same goes to quantity, profit, where we have the quantity of the same product ID, and we will look for the selling price. And of course, we will multiply minus with the quantity of the purchasing price of the same product ID. So again, there is a profit calculation where we will minus the selling price and the purchasing price, which we have already set in the products table earlier. So once you have all of that set up, you can click on save. And of course, for aesthetics, such as displayed here in my app, where I have the products being grouped by the categories and with their fancy coloring and icons, you can do that by ensuring the products in the view settings is set as table, and to group by category. Okay, so then you can start to see all of your products under their own respective groups category. And of course, to have all this fancy coloring and icons, you can go to the views, format rules. And of course, I've set the product name as black and bold, hence you can see it here. For the sports icon, we of course have set category equals to sports. Therefore, we will format the category column with this particular icon and color. And of course, I've increased the size a bit and bold it and make it all uppercase. You can rinse and repeat the same process for other categories. So it will look something like this. And of course, to add some aesthetics to it, for the stocks, as you can see, it's all 0 for now. I've actually set the coloring so that when the stock is equivalent to 0, it will be red. If it's less or more equals to 10, less than 10 or more than 0, it's between 0 and 10, it will be orange. And if it's more than 10, you can set it as green. I mean, it's up to you. We can set the thresholds individually, but I'll set that for a different time. Okay, so basically we have more or less the setup completed, and let's make a run through. So in the app, as you can see, we have the stocks all 0. So if I, as the store owner, want to replenish the stocks, I will go to purchases and make my new purchasing record. So I just click on add here. Let's just say I want to add the stocks for the golf set, and the quantities that I bought for this particular set is 3. And remember, the set that we bought is 1,005. Therefore, 1,005 times by 3, it will be 4,500. or 4,500 for that matter. And click on save. So remember, we have bought 3 quantities of the Cobra golf set. Therefore, if I were to go back to products, you will see the Cobra golf set is now 3 instead of 0. So you can rinse and repeat the same process, such as notebook, we bought 50. Then we bought the ballpoint pen as say 25. And let's say we bought the action figure to 12. And of course, let's say a soccer ball, we bought 20. All right. So in purchases table, we can see I made this respective purchases. Therefore, in my products, you can start to see all the stocks have already replenished, except for teddy bear. Okay. Now, let's just say there's a new sale happen. Okay. And remember, we will make a sale for the Cobra golf set, which is 3. So in sales table, it's empty. So I'll just have to create a new sales, which is Aris. You can save here. And of course, I can see the related sales item is 0. So when I add new sales here, such as Cobra golf set, and you can see there's the stock left is 3. So if I set it as 3, you can see the sales would be 5,700 because the selling price that I set for the golf set is 1,009. And since the difference between selling and purchasing, because the golf set is actually 1,005 when I bought it in my purchasing, and selling it at 1,009 from the price. So I have $400 of profit times 3 will make it 1,002. Okay. So if say I add another sale item, of course you can just simply click add under the related sales item here. And let's say I bought notebook for 2. Initially we have 50. So let's click on save. So I have 2 items under this sales transaction for customer named Aris. Therefore, 5,700 plus with $7 will be 5,707. Okay. And in products, you can see now the golf set is already 0 because I've made the sales and used all 3 of the stocks to the customer. Now, what happens if, let's say, in this particular transaction, I want to add another golf set. Let's say the customer changes his mind and say, hey, I want 4 instead of 3. So if say now this golf set is 0 in stock, and if I want to add 1, therefore there will be an error prompt which is insufficient stock because the current stock is 0. Please make a stock purchase. So this will disallow me to actually sell the 4th set because I already have 3 in my stock. So to do this, in quantity under sales item table, I've actually add the valid if under data validity under sales item for quantity column, where I have the valid if expression, where I have the quantity if the quantity is less or equals to the purchases minus with the sales. So what happens is if this number is less than the current stock, therefore this will not be valid. Okay, so any sales item that I'm selling to my customer must be more than the stock that I have. Must be less than the stock that I have. So with that, therefore, the error message that comes out is insufficient stock. Current stock is where you will sort of concatenate the number of stock left. Therefore, we will ask to make a stock purchase. So you can pause the screen and take your time to follow this expression. I'm not going to run through in detail. Basically, that's the gist of it. The function of this error message will then educate the store owner that there is already no or less stock than whatever the purchase was intended to. So more or less, this is basically the basics of creating a stock management for your store. In the future, we will start to run through on how to make a POS or point of sale sort of feature, but that will take additional more time, which I won't be covering in this tutorial. But we will look forward to it on our next episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you find this content useful. And of course, as I've already highlighted in my tutorial, there'll be a few more episodes that will cover a few more things that we may have not covered in this particular tutorial. But not to worry, if I actually overlook or overlook few things, do let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, with that being said, don't forget to as well mention your requests or questions or any problems that you are facing in Appsheet so that we can try to solve this together and benefit others as well. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.